In San Diego VA hospitals, painkiller prescriptions like oxycodone and morphine have nearly doubled in the last decade, increasing the rate of overuse by veterans. Joining me with what's being done to address the issue are my guests, Jack Lyon, founder of Veterans Village San Diego, and Dr. James Mickelson with the San Diego VA Medical Center. Dr. Mickelson, what are some of the most prescribed opiates and what are they used for to treat?
The most prescribed opiates are opiates like Vicodin, Percocet, OxyContin, methadone, and they're used to treat both chronic and acute pain.
So acute pain might be something you would get from a surgery, but chronic pain is a little bit more ongoing. What about, I've read studies that in veterans, they're also being used to treat PTSD.
The opiate painkillers would be something that wouldn't be used to treat PTSD exclusively, but they might be part of a pain program. If somebody has PTSD and they have a pain program, we would treat the PTSD separately with mental health medications, but veterans that have PTSD are more likely to wind up on opiates because of their coexisting pain problems.
And I understand they sense pain a little bit more than others because some people have been critical and said they're being given these drugs to sort of quiet them down and make them happy. How do you respond to that?
It is true that somebody who has post-traumatic stress disorder or one of the signatures of the recent conflict, traumatic brain injuries, are more sensitive to pain stimuli, and they do sense pain more prominently. And the VA is trying to scale back on the use of opiates in this setting, but patients who have PTSD are 4 times more likely to be on opiate medications.
Well, I know the Department of Veterans Affairs says the use of drugs nationally has surged 270%, these opiate drugs. And here in San Diego, at the VA system, it works out to about 76,000 veterans enrolled at the VA here. Of those, about 13,000 are on prescribed painkillers, and nearly 5,000 of those veterans refill those prescriptions regularly. Jack, what kind of impact do you see that this has on people in Veterans Village?
Well, the challenge is the education, because the opiates, as the doctor just mentioned, are given in a constellation of drugs. And these kids, these veterans come from an us culture, and they're back here in San Diego and the United States kind of an I culture. And so there's a cultural adjustment that has to go on, and sometimes they bounce out of the VA. Now they're on a justifiable pain regimen, but now they're out. They're not going back to the VA or whatever. And they'll end up looking for alternate pain medication.
On the street?
On the street.
Like?
Heroin, example. Heroin, maybe $10. You buy an OxyContin or something like that, you're looking at 20 or 30. So economically, it's a bad situation. So from my point of view, what has to happen is the education of the veteran, that it's up to him too. This isn't something that happens to him. He's got to claim his body and his future.
Dr. Mickelson, as part of that, what do you think led to this massive surge in prescribing opiate painkillers to veterans?
It really came out of the pain community, who 10 to 15 years ago felt we were undertreating pain. Opiate medications work really well for cancer pain, and the thought was, if it works well for cancer pain, why aren't we using them more for non-malignant type of pain, such as low back pain? And the pain world really pushed using opiates in appropriate veterans. But now that we look back over the last 10 to 15 years and have more studies and data, definitely have found that the medication often is more risky than beneficial, particularly in the higher doses.
What's being done here in San Diego to sort of combat this or reduce overuse of prescription painkillers?
Nationally, the VA is rolling out a program called the Opiate Safety Initiative, and San Diego is participating in that program. And that program is designed to, one, educate veterans and educate providers about pulling back from opiates. And it is also monitoring our use of opiates, and particularly when we're combining opiates with other medicines that are high risk, such as sedatives like Valium. The ultimate goal is to decrease the amount of opiates that we use and decrease the amount of opiates mixed with more dangerous medications, and start moving away from pills and moving more towards other therapies such as physical therapy, exercise.
And Chuck, do you have any programs like that at Veterans Village, or to link people into
right.
those sort of alternative programs?
Well, the people that end up at VVSD, generally speaking, are going to they have problems with drugs and alcohol. So drugs and alcohol aren't going to be part of the answer. Lots of alternate therapy, each other primarily. that we're all in this together. And then you've got your yoga and acupuncture and things like that, where you learn how to work with your body.
How to deal with it. Well, we have a lot more about this on our website, kpbs.org. Dr. James Mickelson and Jack Lyon, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.